product is achieved than in the past. Using the techniques of chemical analysis, on-the-spot laboratory facilities enable the composition to be accurately maintained, so as to match the specifications laid down by the pewterware manufacturer. The adopted preference, backed by the pewter associations and often by government control, is to specify a lead-free product. Special tests are devised in order to predict how new compositions will behave during casting, and these form a guide to further development work. Basic research like this makes sure that the pewter craftsman has the best possible material on which to exercise his skill. The two main techniques for the production of pewterware are casting and spinning, and in each case the initial requirement is for an ingot cast into a manageable size. This provides a ready form of material for all scales of operation. For the spinner, the ingot undergoes a rolling process which provides sheets of uniform thickness. These are then stamped out into standard shapes and sizes, ready for immediate use. However great the skill of the craftsman, there must be perfection in the starting material. And so the aim, always, is to supply a scientifically based metal capable of fulfilling the demands made of it. Spinning is a widely accepted method of producing pewterware. The requirements are a pewter blank, a lathe, and above all, the skill and quite often the muscle of the craftsman. Spun vessels are relatively inexpensive, of good quality, simple in line and concept. The blank is gently smoothed over a mandrel of the required shape, using a series of specialized tools with care being taken to maintain the correct thickness in the metal, so that the pewterware remains above all robust and practical. What may appear to the casual observer as a comparatively straightforward operation conceals the years of training and experience which have educated the craftsman's hands into a sympathetic feel for his metal. The ancient craft of sand casting has been adapted for use in the pewter industry. A very wide range of specialized designs, even works of art, are easily reproduced, and wood forms a convenient material to establish the initial shape. Once this has progressed through a series of molding sequences, production is carried out using standard foundry techniques. Deep-rooted traditions are also recognizable in the much-favored gravity die casting process. Bronze or gunmetal dies maintain uniform quality during long production runs of standard items. Many of the dies and the designs themselves date back for centuries and are highly prized by the pewterer. When an original design is required, a completely new die is necessary, and making this is a specialist task. It is possible to reproduce a pattern in several different sizes, and so the die-making industry in this and many other ways has become an important ally, lending its expertise to an ancient craft. The scope of traditional casting is greatly widened by the introduction of newer and more automated methods. In pressure die casting, pewterware is produced with machine precision at high speed and to a considerable degree of finish. Centrifugal force, generated by a rapidly rotating turntable, produces several castings at one and the same time. Rubber is used as the mold material and suffers little or no deterioration because of the comparatively low temperature of molten pewter. The result is a radial formation of pewterware items. But whatever the method of production, finishing operations are necessary to bring out the finer qualities of the metal. And again, the apparent ease of operation beguiles the eye into disbelief. Yet sometimes the skill of the man must be transferred to the programmed precision of the robot. A profile guide, the brains behind the cutting edge, determines the path to be taken along the pewterware surface. Solder, the helpmate in so many industries, is itself largely composed of tin, and it is this fact alone that makes the soldering of pewterware a most skilled operation. The closeness of the melting points of solder and pewter leaves little margin for error. Controlled heat, as applied by a blowpipe flame, permits an almost invisible joint to be made without damage to the surface finish. Acting as the essential mortar in the building up of attractive shapes from separate components, it also offers greater flexibility for adding decoration. And although there are several different compositions of solder, where joints come into direct contact with food or drink, it is imperative to use a non-toxic variety. In answer to the call of contemporary taste, pewter has put on many faces, from the highly polished look through to satin and antique, and on to the colored finishes. A flavor of antiquity can be easily built into modern lead-free pewter by chemical means. And so, what in the past was a gradual process of tarnishing by nature is imitated in a few minutes by science. Closely guarded processes are used to darken the surface, which is relieved to varying degrees by gentle buffing. The result is a controlled and permanent finish, which resembles that of an antique. In keeping with a general desire to preserve a link with the past, the antique look is becoming popular in modern decor. And with an eye to this trend, manufacturing schedules are scaled up by the adoption of flowline principles. The pewterware is now within sight of going out to take a bow before its public. A series of polishing operations using softer and yet softer mops make sure it is well dressed for the occasion. Offered to the customer at the height of perfection, only a minimum of care is necessary to retain the elegant charm for which it is bought. The pewter industry is beginning a new chapter in a long and varied history, and now a revolution is taking place. New designs, fresh approaches, greater public awareness and a growing demand are all having their effect. No longer quietly languishing unseen on a dark shelf, but playing a part in everyday life, on occasions both formal and informal, in the home and down at the pub, pewter radiates an air of dignity. The fusion of old skills and new ideas is lifting a 2,000-year-old metal into the age of the computer. The formation of pewter guilds and associations throughout the world, echoing their ancient counterparts, see to it that standards of material and quality of workmanship are strictly maintained. The avenues by which pewter is reaching the shop window of the world are widening, the current trend being towards specialist outlets as the focal points in the marketing scene. Pewter is something to live with, and its revival is more than a mere swing of fashion's pendulum. In an age of mass production, pewterware stands out as one of the last symbols of individual craftsmanship, adding a quiet bonus to life's rich pattern.